You guys can read that again, because I don't really care, because that's just something about me. But I will tell you something else. And I want you to know me on a personal level, that way hopefully you open up and start talking back to me a little more. But I was adopted. And so, family of 4 girls, the 2 boys were adopted. My brother Marty was adopted from a different family, so no blood. But that's okay, because the one thing it taught me was that you have to be thankful. I grew up thinking, this is great. I have a great life, a great farm, I have a great family, all this amazing stuff. So I was very thankful. And people would ask me, well, what are you? I got this gorgeous, sexy, tan skin. What are you? I go, well, I don't know, Indian, black, whatever, it doesn't matter. And I started realizing, well, what are you? Well, I'm me. And so I started telling people, I'm me. Now, I'm 100% right. And so many times, people ask you, what are you? Tell them the truth, who you really are, not something fake. But my wife, Alma, she always said, oh, you got the best of all the worlds. You're a damn Italian raised Irish that thinks he's Mexican. I'm like, yes! No wonder why I like tacos, tequila, beer, pizza, right? But I will tell you, those cultures, they hold on to their food. I guarantee you got Hispanic culture, Italian culture, guess what? They sit down, everyone better be there. We're going to have food together. We're going to break bread. I'm not trying to get religious on you, but you should have faith. But they hold it together. When we start separating, we're too busy, our schedules are crap, and we don't sit down and eat a meal together, we forget that we are caretakers and we are growing food for our environment, our people, our communities. So that's super important. All right, enough of that. So, cash crops, 1995 to 2010, corn, soybeans, sweet corn, a little bit of alfalfa. We did have peas and we lost it for a while and kind of back and forth, but never very much, but cattle lot, 500 head. I'm doing these cover crops, growing this stuff. Guess where I was putting it? The farthest away field. Out back so no one could see it. And I was literally putting 500 cattle in a lot, feeding them, chores were 2 hours every day, 2-3 hours every day. And I thought, man, was I me? Or was I a farmer? Was I a caretaker farmer? I don't know. I think I was doing it wrong. Because now, 60% is no-till with covers, and there's corn, soybeans, sweet corn, canning peas, sunflowers, cereal rye, alfalfa. But I never grow. I use alfalfa for transition to organic a lot, but never by itself. When I say alfalfa, I do not mean straight alfalfa, because guess what? The nitrogen's great, but it's also going to make your ground rock hard, and now I'm going to have to do more tillage. One tillage pass won't do it. I'll have to beat the crap out of that soil. Put some other species in it. Get some grasses in there. I put red clover. I put different stuff in there so there's actively growing. And now that I know after listening to Kristen Jones, 7 species, I've always been like 3 or 4 at that transition time. I really think I should get to 7 species. And then 40% is organic, and I love that, because now guess what? I'm getting paid to do more. So now I'm getting paid to do diversity. Yeah.
Tom, do you have a market for organic grains up in your neck of the woods?
Yeah. You got them everywhere. They literally come pick up I don't do any hauling. They come pick it up and they drive it up to northern North Dakota. So it's literally like a 10-hour drive. You can go a long ways in 10 hours. So yes, there's organic possibilities that are all around, but you just got to make the connections. Outreach, education, networking, that's how you do it. Good? All right, so yeah, corn, soybeans, sweet corn, sunflowers, buckwheat, oats, putting all those, and now the cattle are all grass finished. Pigs and chickens, I told you before, I got them. It's more for just meat, for me and friends and family, whatever. But I love still having more diversity, and hopefully it grows bigger and better. So, This talk is the true potential of soil health. Right, I kind of gave you guys other stuff on just how to grow it and what to do, but the true potential of soil health is good or bad. Right? For every action, there's a reaction. We're going to duplicate a little bit, but different way of telling you guys. Everything we do is good or bad. And it depends on you. Hope you guys are true to yourselves on if you're a caretaker or a farmer. Because it depends on you. Not the people in the city, not the legislation, not the government. You know, they're talking about dropping all these programs. Well, guess what? Soil health stands on its own. We've been doing this before we got payments. You shouldn't be doing it just to get a payment. You should be doing it because it's working for you. So, what's the true definition of true? Accurate, correct, verifiable, that's adjective. I was terrible in communications in school, guys, so I apologize. But adverbs, honestly, sincerely, faithful. Rustlers, I could tell if they're giving me their true potential or just kind of half-assing it. Easy to tell. Harder to tell in your farming life or personal life, but potential. Capacity to develop into something in the future. It doesn't say if it's going to be good or bad. Most people think, oh, the potential is always good. No, it's what could happen from what you're doing. So what's the definition of soil health? I'm sure we got a bunch of smart professional people. They're going to read that. I would get as far as soil health is referred to as soil quality, blah, 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 blah. Because I'm on my farm every freaking day, walking across the field, stepping on that ground a million times. I know you've all done it. And then we rely on someone else to tell us how good our soil is. You know what? Take a little accountability. I'm a farmer, right? I'm a caretaker, right? To me, that's the last time soil was really healthy. When buffalo roamed, and there are natural predators, they moved on their own. They didn't need someone out there with the high-strength poly fence moving them. The predators. Remember we were talking about predators before? The pollinators? Wow. It's kind of the same thing, isn't it? It's absolutely the same thing. Instead of large animals, it's insects. I try to mimic that. Try and get back on the ground. And I use my senses. Because I don't have a fancy computer that's going to tell me what's in the soil. I'm going to use my senses to see what is soil health. What are your senses, guys?
Sight.
Sight? Absolutely. Can you see soil health?
You can smell it.
Hang on, don't get ahead of me. You're good. You're really good. I know that. Can you see it? How do you see soil health? Aggregation. You see cover.
Infiltration.
What's that?
Infiltration.
Infiltration. Man, it's right there.
Color.
Those dang cows can teach you. Those animals can teach you. You can smell it. Okay, now, what else? What's the next sense? Hey, there we go. And what's it smell like?
Earthy, I call it.
Oh, earthy. Good cup of coffee.
Money.
Money, I like that. Smells like chocolate cake. Looks like chocolate cake. Right? There's many things that you smell. I think it smells like life. I can literally smell life. I know that. You know why? Because as a kid growing up, that bottom one, the only one I read about all my no-till whatever covers was the bottom one. I was sat in a hole doing drainage. And guess what? It stunk, stale, and dead. Absolutely was dead. I know it. Because I could not find a freaking worm in a 1,000-acre farm to take my kid fishing. That's sad. And then guess what? Years later, start doing things right. Now I got worms. Now I can go fishing. But now I can drink beer with the boy too, so he's old now. But you know what? It's alive. How about touch? Can you touch it? You can feel it, right? You grab soil and it falls apart right in your hand. No structure. It should have structure in there. How about taste? Can you taste soil health? What?
Food division.
Taste in the food. Absolutely. We did a American Food Health Day, and I had organic sweet corn that had very reduced tillage. Not one person ate that sweet corn with butter or salt. It was that fantastic. But I can go out in my fields, usually in the snow cover, and I can pull up a plant right now. And it's still pliable and green, almost like gum. Puts in the mold, I can chew it. Cows know that. We don't. How about hearing? Can you hear soil health?
Absolutely.
What do you hear, Rick?
Life, when you pull it out of the, when you remove the soil from the ground, you can hear life.
Just like a Velcro, just rip. That soil is holding on to that.
You can sometimes hear the earthworms gather back in as you walk across the fields.
Yep, at nighttime, right?
Or sometimes it's just a wet day. You walk across and it's like, what's that noise? I thought the first time I heard it.
Freaky.
Earthworms.
Kind of freaky, isn't it? It's cool. But if you are not using your senses, or your senses are fried like every one of us we are, who has the senses the best? Come on. Animals. They still have their senses. They will tell me they want to eat non-GMO corn stalks compared to GMO. I've done it. I'm not saying GMO is not terrible. You're not saying it's terrible. I mean, I don't like it. But if you need to use it on a farm, you need to use it on a farm. But you got to be honest and tell me, is that getting you ahead, or are you paying a whole bunch of extra costs that you maybe didn't realize? Yes?
You can hear the insects.
Yes. Yes, that's, and insects, that, remember that water quality farm sign I showed you? Well, they had endorsements. They had climate, they had soil health, they had wildlife, and then they had, I did all those, sat down for like 20 minutes, told them the operation. And then we got the insect, and the guy's like, oh, this one's super easy, it won't take long. I'm like, why? Insects are the easiest ones to hurt and affect. That should be the hardest one to get. And so I'm thinking, damn, MDA, you guys are looking at this the wrong way. The easiest thing to affect is insects. That's a pretty quick sign. So, hearing, all right? Is there a sixth sense?
Intuition.
I think so. Spiritual? My wife taught me that. How about instinct? My wrestling coach taught me that. Whenever I tried to go on wrestle, well, I'm going to do this move and that move, I got my butt kicked. But every time I went out and just trusted myself and went by instinct, I didn't know what happened. I'd clean the clock. Instinct is very important. All my school grades. If I second guessed my first question, I got it wrong every time. How about faith? I hope your parents taught you that. How about becoming one with nature? Guess who taught me that? Oh, come on. Animals. Cows. Watch them. Learn. Native Indians had it. Absolutely. They're the best there ever was. By far. We got rid of that. Can you have a sixth sense, guys? I can. Just ask my daughter. I knew that guy was not going to last. And I said, I don't want to look back and see you when it's only my daughter that I love and I want to see. Sixth sense. Right? How has soil health affected my neighbor and me? This used to be just me. But let's see how it affected my neighbor. How has it affected me though? It's held me accountable for my actions. And that can be a tough pill to swallow. But I will say, having 2 different kinds of operations is kind of nice. People ask, why aren't you all organic? Well, I don't want to be, because I want to be able to learn the no-till side. And there's bad things about organic. Oh, why aren't you all no-till and not organic? Because there's bad things about no-till, and I like organic. You got to balance them out. But I can see what's happening in the soil. So what's the true potential of our current farming practices? Right? Good or bad? I'm not saying which way it is, I'm just showing. Conventional farming looks a lot like this. Yes, I know people hate seeing that airplane flying, but it happens, doesn't it? I'm just saying facts. You can have your own opinion, but it's chronic, physical, and chemical disturbance. Not once a year, but multiple times, over and over and over, death by 1,000 cuts. You end up like that. You end up like that. Signs are there. Boy, is my soil healthy? Is my soil healthy? Really? We got to send our stuff in to get tested, and not that testing is bad. But we're seriously asking that question before we were taking care of this question. Why is that happening? How about disease? Food is medicine. I'm a farmer. I'm a caretaker. Everything is on the rise. Green Revolution. Look that guy up from the U of M. Maybe he ended up doing as good as he thought. It's hard to find the data out there, but he realized that maybe we didn't do the right thing. Alan Savory, who knows Alan Savory? Right? Killed how many thousands of elephants? Because that was going to save Africa? And he realized that was the worst thing. Lots of times it's good intentions, but bad results. The true potential sometimes is pretty hard to see. Look at it. Green Revolution, glyphosate, GMO, I use them all. Not all the time. GMO, I use about every 5 years. If I feel like I'm getting a little bit weedy, maybe I'll use it in no-till, but I don't want to very much. Glyphosate, I cut it back as much as possible. I get it, it's a tool you need to use stuff. But us humans, we're really good at overdoing a useful thing. No-till farming, man, right? We're not doing chemical and we're not doing massive tillage because that's destroying everything. But you're still high in disturbance. Chemical one. Massive declines in the insects. Insects, easiest ones to affect, right? Bees. How's that affect your job? Big time, right? I got bees on my farm too. How does it affect other farmers? Say the ones that their tractor's a boat and they're out there, well, they get up before us. They got to get up at like 3 in the morning, get out there, get ready for fishing. But there's nothing left. This is a fact, guys. It's not me. And trust me, I'm just as much to blame as the next person. Add that in there again. Sorry about that. The water quality is huge. Oh, but there's city people here, right? You guys are sitting here thinking it's just those damn farmers. Wrong. It's you guys too. You guys have the 3rd largest plant species growing, grass. You guys probably apply more chemical fertilizer per area than we do. You guys have 0 infiltration. You mow your yards right down and you scalp it like that and think you're better than us? I don't think so. I think we're all good and bad. I think we all have good intentions, but we're just maybe lost. Habitat loss. Yes, we destroy a lot of forests for agriculture, but they do for cities too. And I should have put pollution up there. The city people will probably do more than that. Organic farming, we're going to save it, right? We're going to save the world. No chemicals, no synthetic fertilizers. more diversity from rotations because I'm held accountable, I have to have rotation. That's an advantage. But I still have very high physical disturbance. Still doing bad, right? Good or bad? Soil degradation, you will not believe this field. This is my neighbor. That field is a wet field. How could that be? Does that look like a wet field? He's got 7 or 8 wet spots he always goes around. It's always the last field planted. A little bit of change in the weather, and bam, right to that. That's desertification, guys. I didn't put it in, but have you guys seen the apple? Agriculture and apple? We literally have a slice to grow food on. We go fight, what do we fight wars for? Food. What else?
Water.
Water. What else? Fuel. Energy. Damn. Guess what I capture in my fields? I capture water. I capture food. I capture energy from the sun. Pretty good way of doing things. Climate extremes, right, guys? We've all seen it. Flooding. Literally in wintertime, there's a burning ban in my area. That's ridiculous. But I get it, because it's a warming trend. For the last 50 years, we've been warmer than cooler every single year going up the trajectory. It's so warm that when I'm doing chores, I gotta have Modelo, right? We talked about Modelo last night. But what's crazier? I'll tell you what's crazier. That's a year ago. That's February 6th, last year. Literally, it was like a week and a half after those cows were out bale grazing in a different field. Boom. Oh, by the way, did you see different scenarios in the fields? One's bale grazing, one's got a good cover set up, diversity, but how can I be the crazy one if that's the weather? Humans have been farming the earth for over 4,000 years. Have we lived up to our true potential? Good or bad? Do you really think they built those in the middle of the desert that didn't have water, didn't have anything? Yes, it was arid. What's that?
Aliens.
Alien. Okay, we're getting real hard. Let me get that slide. No. You're probably right. There probably is someone a whole lot smarter than us. But good or bad? They did not plan to not have anything around them. They had water. They had livestock. They had communities. They had society. But they didn't live up to their true potential. They just gave a half-ass potential. We've only been here for 250 years, right? In the 1950s, we had victory gardens. Guess what? I told you when I thought the land was healthy, I think that's the last time the humans were healthy in the United States. I'll guarantee you, those kids right there would kick the crap out of every single one of our kids nowadays. Right? But it's not just our fault. It's all of our faults, because who's the ones buying the crappy food? Right? It's not just farmers, it's not just city people, it's not just food processors, which this is way too much processed food. But guess what they're putting in most of that? Corn syrup. I grow corn, guys, just like you. So don't think I'm just bashing on corn or something. I do it too. I'm addicted. I have a hard time getting away from it, but I try. You know what that is? Was it you last night talking about ice cream sandwich? I was biting my tongue last night, because that's an ice cream sandwich. But guess what? That sat on my counter for 6 weeks. 6 weeks. I literally went like that and wiped up a little bit of moisture, and that was it. That's like caulk. You might as well go suck a freaking window glaze down, because that's what that is. So how do I truly help soil health? think of yourself as a caretaker instead of a farmer, that's up to you. I question everything. Because if you don't, you will fall for anything, I guarantee it. DET is good for me, Time Magazine. Whoa. I use seeds. I'll put seeds up against any technology. Because they can sit for 100 years, and the right conditions happen. That thing can grow, life can grow, and it can weather a storm, it can weather drought, water, whatever. That seed is a living organism, and it's a crazy technology that someone put here for us. And I have faith, guys, so you know who I am thinking. I don't think it's aliens. That's all. I'm an no-till guy, an organic guy, I use seeds. To me, I don't know what the definition of regenerative agriculture is, but I think it's the good of everything and try and get rid of the bad, which is really hard because every one of us has a bad side. And it's okay, and we gotta acknowledge it. So I take the good on both sides. And this is what it looks like. Covers on everything. Regenerative no-till. Why is that regenerative no-till? I use my chemical, instead of spraying the whole field with glyphosate, now I only go to a little band like that. I just literally cut my chemical disturbance into a third. It's pretty good way of doing it. Oh, but hang on, organic. Can I do the same thing? Do a little till, do a little strip till. And leave those plants growing there. And I love it because those give me options. I can literally, if I want to go after the grain and leave that growing, and I can. If there's short moisture, I lay it down and protect the soil. There's many things besides just growing one crop. Regenerative farming. Growing something no matter what. As one's dying and one's living. Recycling nutrients. Growing a cash crop. And right next to it growing the pollinators that are going to fight the bugs off because it's an organic scenario. Oh, and guess what? When I'm doing the pollinators, I'm softening the soil because the buckwheat does a fabulous job of that. And I have grasses in there that are going to fight weeds off this year. And then I have clover in there and legumes that are going to give me some nitrogen for the next year's crop. Because guess what? I have to have rotation and organic. I move that crop from that spot to that spot, and then that goes over there. Now I'm priming the system. Oh, it's organic, so I get paid a whole lot better. So I can afford to take these risks and change my style of farming. My food. Sweet corn. With sunflowers. The guy's like, I asked the candy company, because I grow for the candy company, a couple 100 acres, can I do this? Well, yeah, you can, but why the hell would you do that? I was like, because it's organic, you can't spray for bugs. These pollinators are going to help me fight any earworms off corn silage, sweet corn. And then guess what? If I interseed into that, buckwheat does a really good job of fighting off earworms too in corn. And the grass, something for those bugs to go to and give them more awesome predators to take out those bad ones. And of course, there's always a bird flying somewhere. Regenerative farming, remember? I like hemp. It's a great plant. It's totally been screwed over by loggers, alcohol, medicinal. This plant and farming, we create inflammation. No ways about it. It's absolutely, we're creating inflammation. Hemp's number one thing is anti-inflammation. Man, there's always going to be benefits to that if we keep doing our farming practices the way we're doing. And how can you not tell that's not regenerative? That's probably more regenerative for the soul than anything. So how do I truly live up to my best potential in my farming or personal life? I follow my what? My heart. My environment, my climate. I told you I adjust my covers to weather just like you try to adjust your crops. Man, I used to plant corn down this low ground all the time. And there were 2 creeks came together. Every time a large rain event, it'd flood out the bottom and I'd lose it. And then 2 years later, guess what I do? Go plant corn there again, and again, and again. Then I realized, hang on. Excuse me, the environment, the climate, the situation is telling me not to grow corn, not to lose money. So I quit planting the whole length of the field, and then I put forage down there. It was a far away, so I just cut forage and ground off. It was fabulous. Why waste the money? Economy. We gotta follow money, right? But are you being led to the money by something else? Government programs? Cover crops? You're doing cover crops because you're getting paid. You're doing it for the wrong damn reason. That's why I'm telling you all this, because it won't work for you. You gotta honestly try. You have to do it because you believe and it economically works. Again, instinct. How about ROI, not yield? I showed you that, the 2,000 bushel organic corn, right? You guys are just thinking, oh, bushels, bushels, bushels. Nope, $2,000 income. Revenue. That's what gives me my best potential. And again, faith. And also my soil principles. Didn't go over it very much in the first slide. We'll go over it now. Armor, cover, protect the soil. And I'm sorry if you've heard it once or twice or 100 times. It's good because you got to really understand it and accept it as a caretaker more than a farmer. Minimize soil disturbance, chemical and physical, living root, diversity, livestock, context. Armor, shelter, feed the soil, right guys? Armor, shelter, feed. Anytime there's a natural disaster, remember the reactor last slide? That's a disaster. You gotta have food and you gotta have shelter. Same thing as humans. The soil's alive, humans are alive. Minimize soil disturbance, right? Absolutely, that's what I'm gonna say. You know what? Can you say it? Minimize soil disturbance, what kinds? Chemically and physically, right? Absolutely. But remember, energy is not created nor destroyed. It's just transformed shape. Some smart guy told us that. So when you think about physical, those microbes, that's what it feels like when you do tillage. Just like I do. I do tillage. Boom. But then on the chemical side, you gotta remember, the guys that made that are the guys that are making the chemical too. There's a whole lot of energy and everything. How much energy is in a 600 horsepower tractor? A lot. Just like the chemical, there's a lot of energy that's been put into that to do its job. It's still there. That's potent energy. That's the true potential of that. Continuous living root. My continuous living root came about taking junk out of the scrapyard, or out of my junk pile, and putting it together and trying to figure out a way to get diversity. Because I was doing cover since '98 up to 2010-12, doing one single species, and I realized, what the heck am I doing? I'm doing the same thing as corn, beans, corn, beans, corn, bean, rye, corn, bean, rye, a single species. So I wanted to get more diversity. And guess who taught us how to do diversity in my area? A guy from Canada. Oh, cover crops don't work here, right? BS. Working up there, don't work down here. And that's actually my organic ground. I showed you a picture earlier, that was a conventional ground. The soil was covered with residue, I had armor, non-feeding, the organic. Yes, I've done tillage, but when I did it, there was a purpose, and that was to incorporate green manure. And now look at that soil. That residue is there. It's protecting the soil, and I'm feeding it. And the soybeans, as it's dying, is coming right back. That field, when I combine those fields, they smell like a really good salad. Have you ever heard that before? I'll guarantee you not. Because it's always a real good steak, or a pizza, or tacos, or something smelled good, not salad. But it did. It was fabulous, and I do. Everything that I grow, I eat. Because it's very beneficial, because every microbe that's in my ground, I want in my gut. Because my gut has been just obliterated with alcohol, crappy food, drugs from the hospital, you name it. Plant diversity. I've been hitting diversity really hard, haven't I? Really hard. And that's why. It's above ground, or it's below ground. It's literally a taco shop, an Asian stand, a freaking steakhouse, a Culver's. Well, I mean, a Culver's is probably one of the better ones. But the microbes have this huge smorgasbord to eat under the ground. That's how you get the ground working. You gotta have that diversity. And then above ground, those plants are doing different jobs for me too. Double fold. One seed is giving me all these different options, all these advantages. And those seeds have those roots. What's a good looking root there? What's going to break compaction? What's that?
Radish.
Rash? Yeah, rashes are spendy, so the ROI is kind of not worth it. They got taproot, but they shoot out of the ground a lot. What else do you see?
Depends on your goals.
Depends on your goals. I like that. Most people would say this long one, because really a rash, it doesn't have to be a big old thing like that. You want a hole in the ground for your planter to go over that's that big? No, you want it like a pencil or smaller. The lead of a pencil will split a rock that size of root. That skinny one right there, that's breaking compaction. And that's buttonweed. You guys didn't fall for it, but that's a weed. Plant on the place, yes, I'll call it weed. Well, why is it there? Because Mother Nature realized there's compaction. She wants to cover herself with a high carbon nitrogen ratio plant, and she wants to break that compaction. Livestock integration, my other favorite one. Diversity in livestock. Two things that have taught me the most. Absolutely. And the cool thing is, they give me dual income. I'm greedy. I want to get stuff from the farm. I want incomes off the farm. One cash crop, I get one thing. Grazing, springtime, I can graze those. My calves, a calf out there. I haven't lost a calf for a long time because they're calving on grass. And the nice thing is with grass finish, if I was corn-based, I'd be in a race to get to the finish line, and I'd have to get those cows out on the ground in early February, March, because man, the first one there gets the most money. I don't know, mine's a complete system, those grass finish. They're all different kinds. Diversity in our culture, diversity in my cattle. They come big ones, small ones. It's okay because they're calving out there. I calve later and I keep them and they're worth more money at the end. Summertime, late summer, I'm grazing on small grains, sweet corn, sunflowers, buckwheat, corn, warm and cool season in those mixes. Remember I said energy is neither created nor destroyed? How much energy do you think that's capturing? That's my cow right there. Sorghum, millet, there's 17 different species in there at least. That's my ranger cat. Capturing this energy, storing it in the ground, and I will get it back if I use the greatest technology, which is what? What's the greatest technology that I said? Seeds, right? If you plant the seed. And I can definitely part the corn chopper now. So I don't need to cut corn. Man, you guys are tough. You guys are really tough. Dual incomes, winter time, and bale grazing. Like I said, they get choices. That's what they pull up. I can taste soil health. That is still very good. And they're happy. Tell you what. I guess they're feeling playful moving them to a new paddock. city people get excited about seeing that. I like it just because I love cows. That green spot, that was actually an 80-acre field. I did all of my regular cover crop blends, and then on 10 acres, 5 acres, I split off, and that's gonna be my sacrifice paddock when it freezes, because sometimes you freeze and you gotta worry about sorghum today and having toxicity. So I moved them to that instead. Context. You need to make soil health principles, because principles are great in thought, but they're really hard in practice, right? Context, you gotta make it work on your farm, but too many people think, oh, I gotta spray chemical, I gotta do tillage, because what else can I do? I have my damn neighbor, we had 300 acres of soybeans back when beans were $8. He's like, oh, I gotta plant soybeans. Like, Jim, that's a losing proposition, why would you do that? Well, what else can I do, he said. I thought, really? What else can you do? You're locked into just 2 crops and you have to lose money? Crazy. Here's my context. There's my neighbor's context. What do you see there for soil health principles and practices? Come on, guys. No lunch for you guys. I will stall this until 3 o'clock.
A lot of tillage and water.
What principles do you see there, soil health principles?
I don't see any of them.
You don't, yeah, you don't see any. By my context, soil's covered, no disturbance,
Living root.
diversity, living root, animals, and it's making it work. That's my context, and it's paying me money. And how much is my neighbor getting? Absolutely nothing. And guess what? He's going to call me and ask me if the tile is gone, but I don't do that anymore, so tough luck. But what a difference. What a waste of energy. That field captured nothing. I captured everything. No, increasing my potential by caring for my soil, feeding my microbes, the same ones that are in our gut. This is why I harp on you guys for food and stuff like that. The hardest thing I ever did as a farmer, you know what I did? I grew a damn garden. And that was a disaster. I thought, oh, I'm going, I'll till it all up and I'll do these mounds and everything. And I got busy and got super weedy and just got wolfed out. But was I going to go spray this chemical? No, because I want to eat that. And then, guess what? Remember we talked about cultures? Span culture? My mother-in-law, she kicked my butt every year. You know how she planted her seeds? She'd grab a handful of all of them, go out there and throw it out the back door. Sounds like a chaos started. Sounds like 3 sisters, right? This chaos, and they all grew. She's a better cook than me. She grew better than me. I'm a farmer. I should have been knocking this out of the park. But then I became a caretaker and started realizing, okay, we got to change some of the stuff I'm doing. But there's different practices and different tests for everything you do. So what's in my soil? I look at what's my net worth. What's down in there? What's available, but what's there? You can make it available with these practices. The true potential is I can get a whole bunch of that out of my soil for free, like it's been doing for the last millions of years, 10,000 years, 6,000 years of people, whatever you want to say, I don't care. It's there. It was working before, it will work again, but unless we screw it up, but we just got to get rid of us, and it'll work again. So who's the banker? If all that money, all that true potential, all that money's there in the soil, who's the banker? Did you say the soil? The soil is. The soil is holding on to that money. Something you could benefit from. That's your potential income. Deposits and withdrawals are your what? Hint we talked about in the last line. It's as easy as 1, 2, 3. It's my farming practices. Principles, practices. That's the deposits and withdrawals. And you can make deposits. You can make withdrawals. And boy, they got to end up in a plus, right? In the end, if you're going to get anything out of it. You got negatives in there, you're not going to get anything out. You don't get those nutrients that are in the ground. Who's the bank teller? Mother Nature is. Right? You go up to the bank teller, remember how you treat people, how you treat Mother Nature. Treat her good, your transaction is very easy. You will get stuff from her. You piss her off, life's going to get a whole lot harder for you. A lot like married life, right? I guarantee you that's a fact. But guess what? If I treat her good, those worms, that biology is going to give you up to it. And I'm not saying you're going to, where am I on that scale? I don't know. But ROI-wise, doing okay. But you can get up to 4.6 times more nitrogen, 7.2 more phosphorus, more potassium, more calcium. Everything on the worm is a neutral pH. We used to lime like every 5-6 years. I haven't limed for 17 years because my earthworms are doing this for me. I'm living up to my true potential, guys. What's our true potential? Good or bad, right? Neighbor field, my field. You look at that and think, oh, that's just fake, that's not real, yeah, it is. And I do have a picture with my field green when it greened out, but I couldn't find it. Of course, water erosion again. Am I living up to my true potential? I think so. Now, I'm not taking a test, I'm using my senses, I'm watching what's happening. Now, true potential, that means there's probably financial potentials too, right? Here's our gross revenue as farmers. There's our net farm income. We are getting more money coming in, but we're spending way too much going out. And all these great technologies, can't come close to a seed, were made to help us make more money, right? Feed the world. Peak tractor production right after World War II. 10,000 pesticides registered. It'll get bigger. There is a green revolution. Glyphosate use, we are getting wider and wider. GMO. Oop. And I did have it there, I think in the mid-90s, 500 horsepower tractors came along. We went from plowing that ground with the horse and just slowly disturbing to literally demolishing everything. Didn't help us. Human-wise, human health-wise, have we lived up to our potential? You saw the food, 4% of the entire population had chronic disease. Those kids sitting there in the Victory Garden after World War II, they were as healthy as can be. Now it's 46% of children have chronic disease. That's lasts longer than 6 months by the age of 18. Autism has doubled. Who has autism in their family? I'm raising my hand because I have nephews, a grandson. Right? It's there. It's happening way faster than you guys think. You cannot have a great nation with 1 out of 3 children with autism. Even though they are an absolute gift, it's still hard to run the world as it is. 1 out of 2 men, how about cancer? Who's had cancer in the family? And we are not going to go to lunch until we are actually knowledge. You lift your hand if you have cancer in your family. Because it is out there. Be honest, be truthful with yourself. Fertility issues. You'll never have a great nation if you can't reproduce. We spent 700, this is slide from 6 years ago, 5 years ago, something like that. I'm sure it's more. But is $700 billion a lot of money? More than any other country in the world? That is nothing to what you and me are paying for health care. $3.5 trillion in the U.S. alone. Is there money potential to charge more for better food? Hell yeah. Can I get a big hell yeah? No. Just kidding. Plenty potential. But if we don't do it, someone else is gonna get that potential money. There's, yeah, I'm not gonna say it, but there's a lot of money being spent in those buildings right there. But if I'm gonna be regenerative, I need to teach farmers, one by one. Remember? I remember how I was farming when I had no one to talk to. Felt like an idiot out on an island. So you gotta teach farmers. And that guy right there, he's the one that taught me to pass, or not even pass, he's still farming, but he's like 82 years old and having the best damn time of his life. So we teach farmers, but then we have to teach consumers too. Because who do we sell to? How do we make these markets? How do we not lose our communities? How do we make everything better? That's my daughter, by the way. And this is what I do. This is the Hemp and Food Health Day. I hope the video plays. I knew he was going to do that. That's why I'm here. So, what we do is, on Friday, the day after Labor Day, we teach farmers how to do it. We get one farmer at a time, right? That's how you get to change your farmers, one guy at a time. You teach the consumers, now you're getting like 15, 20 people at a time. And who's spending the money? They're coming back and spending it on you. The wonderful world of the internet has opened up. COVID taught us that, oh man, we better really fix our problems. That's sweet corn, that cooler sweet corn. Ask me about later, that's unbelievable. Infamous topless bus. Tell your story about this. If you want to get paid better, you don't have to be organic, but you do have to do a better job of growing food, and then you got to tell your neighbors in town. So, missing your true potential? Let's see if I got this right. Ignoring the signs. Not believing in yourself. And not learning from your mistakes. All right, getting almost done here. Super crazy. What do healthy humans need? What kind of oxygen? Clean oxygen. How about water? What? Clean water. Otherwise, if you didn't say clean water, you guys get muddy water up there for your dinner. How about food? What kind of food? Healthy food? We need strong shelters. We need rest. Oh, sorry. And we need love. Plain and simple. What healthy soils need? Crazy that it's just like us, right? Same microbes, same microbes. Needs oxygen, needs water, needs food, which is a continuous living rut, shelter, armor, rest, sleep. So please show it some love. Now live up to your true potential, guys. That's hemp. My dad was a storyteller. Ignored it the whole life. Thought you're nuts. I'll never tell a story. Well, I just told you guys a story. Thank you.